All right, welcome to our presentation. I'm Valérie, and today I'm going to present the game NERO, which we developed with our team at Haesoo. Now, NERO is a game where players can use their emotions as an active game input. But what do we exactly mean by that? Now, emotions in games have been quite a hot topic for a while, and more so recently, with the emergence of several technological capabilities of measuring emotion and using them as game input. This gave rise to so-called biofeedback games. Those are games where some bodily measurements, such as galvanic skin response, or heart rate, or even brain waves, can be used to adjust some elements of the game. For example, it can be made less difficult or more exciting. However, so far, the player is not really involved in this process, or not even aware of it. There are some serious games where players can deliberately adjust their emotions to train emotion control. However, we didn't have this clear goal of emotion control. We took a little bit of a different approach, and we wanted the players to have primarily fun and see how they can use emotion control as a novel element through which players can create their own personal experience. We developed a prototype using heart rate sensor as a proxy for emotions and tested it with several players. We wanted to kind of let the player explore the connection between their felt emotions and the measure actually taken and used in the game. So we wanted to enable their agency in the game world by controlling their emotions. Now let's have a look at how we implemented the game. First, we chose heart rate, as mentioned, as a rough first approximation of emotion measurement. While this is clearly not very elaborate and exact measurement of the complex concept of emotion, but we focused more on the player's understanding of their emotion and how they play with it in the game. Therefore, initially a fairly simple, easily understandable, and to some degree controllable measure, such as heart rate, would fit well. The central game mechanic is changing the character based on the player's heart rate, and each character has unique abilities. We first calibrated each player's baseline heart rate and then adjusted the ranges for the emotions in reference to that baseline. Those ranges were iteratively tested and adjusted to find the appropriate difficulty for each player to reach all the states. Additionally, the player is able to collect emotion gauges based on automated tracking of the emotion states. Then those emotion gauges are turned into spirits, which they can use as a currency in the game to, for example, solve puzzles or to charge so-called atmospheres, or even to force change into a character, which emotion you don't currently feel. During our design process, we did several player tests to inform our design decisions, and we got very interesting insights. Overall, the players found the emotion input concept novel and interesting, and they liked that they could see visually their emotions. Then, also even though they said they didn't, of course, always feel like the character is portraying right now, but they did say they felt some emotional connection to the game character. Another interesting insight is that role of the environment was very crucial. So, for example, it could be uncomfortable to reveal your emotion state in front of others. And also it might be harder to relax if you feel some sort of pressure from your surroundings. Lastly, we faced considerable calibration challenges as each player had different heart baseline and also a different ability to control their heart rate. We received interesting ideas for future development, such as labeling the emotion characters differently, also adding the possibilities for multiplayer modes, and lastly, assigning skills to the characters yourself, which could provide a more personalized experience. To summarize, we designed a novel game concept where we use emotion as an active input, and we evaluated the potential of that concept through repeated player tests and feedback. That's already the end of our presentation. Thank you very much for listening. If you have questions, feel free to contact us.